Hello everyone, welcome to English Grade 6. Last week we learned Unit 14, Making Plans, Section A. And today we are going to continue to learn Section C, Suggestions. In this section, we are going to show two parts, reading and structure, making suggestions. First, we are going to part 1, reading. Okay, look at the picture and let's get acquainted with these friends. Ba, Lan, Nam, and Nga. They are discussing their trip on upcoming summer vacation. Read and find out what they are going to do for their trip. Ba says, "What are we going to do in the vacation?" Lan says, "Let's go to camping." And Nam realizes, "We don't have a tent. What about going to her?" So Lan recommends another to go camping, but Nam disagrees Lan's suggestion because they don't have any tent, and then they suggest going to her. According to you, will Ba, Lan, and Nga agree with him in order to answer this question? Let's continue the conversation. Nga realizes, "I don't want to go to her. Why don't we go to Hương Pagoda?" So Nga disagreed with Nam's suggestion, and she suggests going to Hương Pagoda. Do you know Hương Pagoda? Look at the picture, please. This is Hương Pagoda. It's very beautiful, isn't it? What would another people think? Ba realized, "That's a good idea. How are we going to travel?" Finally, Ba agreed and they decided to go Hương Pagoda on summer. But how they can go? Let's continue the conversation. Lan suggests that they will walk there, but Nam disagreed. No, it's too far, and he suggested, "What about going by bike?" With Nam's suggestion, Nga disagreed. No, it's too hot. After that, Ba suggests, "Let's go by minibus." Do you know minibus? Look at the picture, please. This is minibus, which is smaller than bus. And everyone agrees with this good suggestion. Yes, good idea. So we have finished the conversation between Ba, Lan, Nam, and Nga. Let's move to practice. Answer the questions. Question A. What does Nam want to do? What does Nam want to do? He wants to go to her. That's good. Question B. What does Nga want to do? What does Nga want to do? That's right. She wants to go to Hương Pagoda. Next. How does Lan want to travel? She wants to go on foot. Excellent. Why doesn't Nam want to walk? Why doesn't Nam want to walk? Good job. Nam doesn't want to walk because it's too far. Next. How does he want to travel? Yeah, he wants to go by bike. Why doesn't Nga want to go by bike? Very good. Nga doesn't want to go by bike because it's too hot. The last one. How does Ba want to go? He wants to go by minibus. Well done. And finally, we have finished the whole reading with exercise. It's not hard to understand, right? So now let's move to the new structure. Making suggestions. It means giving advice to people. We have 3 ways to make suggestions. 1. Affirmative, and 2. Questions. The first one is let's plus infinitive For example, let's go to the travel. Repeat after me. Let's go to the travel. The second one is what about plus verb in. When we are using what about, the grammar is different. We use verb plus in, and the other word for that is the gerund form. For example, what about opening your present now? And remember, this is a question, so don't forget put question mark at the end of the sentence. What about opening your present now? Repeat after me. What about open your present now? Suggestion number 3 for grammar. Why don't or doesn't plus subject plus infinitive. For example, why don't we? Why don't you? Why doesn't he? And of course, this is also the question. We use a negative to stress the right suggestion. Why don't we see a film? For example, you can say that. Repeat after me. Why don't we see a film? And there are 3 different ways to make suggestions in grammar. So you can use any way you want to make suggestion. Now it's time to do exercise. Match the suggestions to the right situation. The left column is situations and the second one is suggestions. Let's do it together. First, we have to read on situations. 1. I feel hungry now. 2. I cannot study, it's too noisy outside. 3. We have 3 days off this weekend. 4. I like tennis, but I don't know how to play. And then suggestions. A. Let's go to the beach and have a good time there. B. What about joining the sports club? C. Why don't you take some milk? D. Why don't you go to the library? With the first situation, I feel hungry now. If your friend is hungry, what would you suggest? Yeah, that's right. When we feel hungry, we often think about drinks or food, right? Yeah, so one would say, why don't you take some milk? The second situation is, I cannot study. It's too noisy outside. With this situation, what would you suggest? When we study in a noisy place, we often think of a quiet place, such as library. So, 2 with D. Why don't you go to the library? Next situation. We'll have 3 days off this weekend. So what will we should do? Of course, go to the beach and relax, right? So 3 with A. Let's go to the beach and have a good time there. The last one. I like tennis, but I don't know how to play. And of course, 4 with B. If you want to know how to play tennis, just go join to the sports club. Excellent. So today we have just learned whole sentences with reading the conversation and new structure, making suggestions. It's not difficult to remember and use, but anyway, you have to practice more these new grammar points. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.